You know, it kind of explains things, see? Losing a woman like that, I think I might have turned a bit sour myself.
Sorry, Lewis. What did you say?
Nothing, sir. I made a bad joke, that's all. Shall we go?
No, you go. You go. I'll walk, I think.
Not this evening, Lewis, surely.
No, it's nothing pressing, sir. It's from a Dr. John Marriott. Wants us to call round and see him.
Do you know him?
Well, I do and I don't. I know I've heard of him, but I can't place where. Anyway, he's Henry Fallon's GP, apparently. Big night ahead.
I'm going to listen to some music, Lewis, with Mrs. Fallon.
I'm off out myself, as a matter of fact. Make up for the knitting bee debacle. Salim's Indian restaurant just opened up. I'm a steak and baked spud man myself, but Mrs. Lewis likes to live on the culinary edge, as it were.
Well, I hope you and Mrs. Lewis have a fine time, Sergeant.
Thank you, sir. You too.
It was very moving.
You sound surprised. Wasn't Schubert a favourite of yours?
No, it's surprising finding I'm still receptive to it. I'm sorry, I'm being morbid.
No. We need to mourn. Perhaps even feel guilty about having survived our loved ones. But you mustn't punish yourself, Susan.
Life must go on.
I think that's what I'm trying to say, yes. Henry's GP, Marriott?
Yes?
He's asked to see me. Have you any idea why?
No, I haven't spoken to him since before Henry died. I thought he'd be at the inquest.
More champagne, madam?
No, thank you.
No, I'm fine, thanks. You said you were going away. Can you tell me where?
I'm not sure yet.
There are worse places than Oxford.
I've lost a great deal here.
So have I. I'm sorry, that was unfair.
Did you hate me? When I left you?
Hate you? My God, Susan. Would you like to go?
I knew I'd be poor company. I'm sorry. Good night.
Is your husband likely to be much longer, Mrs. Marriott?
He's with his last patient now, Chief Inspector.
Certainly gives them plenty of time.
My husband wages a one-man war against sickness, Sergeant.
Could you fix Mr. Hall with an appointment for next week? Thanks, Helen. Chief Inspector Morse.
Yes.
Sorry to have kept you. Do you want to come through? Thanks. Henry's condition was quite rare, Chief Inspector. Only about a dozen or so cases in the UK annually. I'd been monitoring his condition every week for the last 2 years. This is Henry's signature. It's a crude but effective indicator. You can see the degeneration is quite marked.
I don't understand the significance, Doctor.
Well, I have absolutely no doubt that Henry Fallon intended to take his own life, Chief Inspector. I mean, we discussed it often enough. I also personally believe that it was his right. You may or may not know that I am a member of an organisation which espouses
Dignity.
What?
Sorry, sir. Dignity's your organisation. I've read about you in the local paper.
Yeah, well, I make no secret of my views, although some people would say a doctor has no business in holding them.
Go on.
Well, it's when I heard how Henry died that I became curious. You see, Henry may have been able to hold a spoon to his mouth or turn the pages of a book, but it's almost certain that he couldn't have held a gun to his head and pulled the trigger.
You sure about that?
Well, as I say, I'm almost certain, yeah.
Well, it's a pity you didn't come forward sooner, Doctor. At the inquest, for example.
Yes, I'm sorry about that, but I was on holiday in Scotland.
But I saw Mrs. Marriott there.
Yes, well, Helen's never been one for salmon fishing. And this is a shared practice, Inspector. It barely functions without her.
This information could have serious implications, Doctor.
Yes, I realise that, but I felt it was my responsibility to make my views known.
I'd like our own medical people to have a look at this material, if you don't mind.
Certainly, Chief Inspector, but I would like it back. I hope in due course to interest some of the medical journals with my findings, so I'd be interested to hear what your colleagues think of my efforts.
So will I, Doctor, believe me.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. You're at the inquest. Why?
I was curious.
Where the hell does that leave us?
It leaves us looking like bloody fools, Lewis. But where does it leave Peter Rhodes?
Oh, for heaven's sake, Morse. You said it was suicide. The coroner said it was suicide. And now some GP comes down from Ben Nevis waving a few sheets of A4 and everything's up in the air.
Sir.
I'm not saying we should turn a blind eye, but isn't it all a bit tenuous? What do our people think?
The pathologist had the material since last night. We're seeing him later today.
We're not going to look good, Morse, are we? Not good at all. I'm lunching with the chief constable, for God's sake. If I ever get there, what am I supposed to tell him? That our suicide isn't a suicide after all, and we are now embarked on a full-blown murder investigation?
It'll hardly be that, sir.
If it is murder, there's only one suspect.
Who?
Fallon's son-in-law, Peter Rhodes.
Fallon's nurse saw him alive at 5:45, sir. Rhodes was there at 6.
A random killer wouldn't have had time to fake a suicide. The gun was kept in a drawer, out of sight. Peter Rhodes knew that. It's difficult to see how anyone else could have done it, given the time.
Well, I suppose that's something. A prime suspect before we're even sure a crime's been committed.
You can tell that to the chief constable, sir.
At last! Thank God for that. Well, you better have a go at it, Morse. And try and get it right this time, would you? Oh, and Morse, take a closer look at that Marriott fella. We seem to be putting rather a lot of faith in him.
Yes, sir. I'd never have thought of that.
I fancy we spoiled his lunch, sir.
Heaven forbid, Lewis.
Mr. Stone! Sergeant Lewis, Thames Valley Police, can I have a word? Why were you interested in Mrs. Marriott?
I wasn't. No, she reckons she'd been a bit of a model or something. Thought it might have been a nice angle. The beauty and Dr. Death, you know. Dug around, came up with that lot. Yeah, so what's all this about then?
Oh, we might have to call him as a witness in a trial that's coming up. We don't want any surprises.
Phew, fat chance. No, he's clean, Sergeant. I was after the euthanasia thing. I was told he could say what he liked so long as he didn't practice what he preached.
What did you think of him?
No, nice, polite. Nothing too much trouble. Bit of a creep, really.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Good-looking woman.
Ain't she just? Makes you wonder what she's doing with a prat like him. Hey, so what's this case, then?
It's a bit early to say. Well, I remember your cooperation.
Yeah, that'd be nice, yeah. You'll want my car.
So. What did he say?
He said if Marriott's records are correct, Fallon couldn't have killed himself. How about you?
Well, try as I'm sure he did, the journalist couldn't lay a glove on Marriott.
What are you being conned, Lewis?
I don't know, sir. What I can't figure out is why Rhodes called us. If he killed Fallon, why not just leave and let someone else find the body?
Maybe he's cleverer than that. I'd like you to go round there tomorrow. Let him know we're interested.
What are you going to do?
I suppose I shall have to talk to Mrs. Fallon.
Have you seen much of Morse?
Some.
I always liked him, you know. Good man in a crisis. That was my impression. Has he changed much? Essentially, I mean.
No, I don't think he has.
Well, then.
I'm afraid it's too late for that.
Nonsense. Women are meant to be on their own, Susie. Never have been, never will be.
And what about men?
Chaps are a different class of being, altogether so. Much better equipped to cope with the privations of the solitary life. It's not easy, I can tell you, but what I thought was, well, Sunday lunch. Why don't I get McGregor to look out a couple of extra nose bags, and you and Morse can join me here for a feed?
Perhaps. We'll see.
Sergeant Lewis? I thought you might have been a customer. You're not here to buy, are you?
Not on my salary, sir. Not unless your antiques come in flat packed.
They are a bit pricey, I'm afraid. It's the nature of the business. So, how can I help you, Sergeant?
Oh, I've come about Mr. Fallon, actually.
Henry? I thought that was settled.
Loose ends, Mr. Rhodes. In your business, it's high prices. In mine, it's always loose ends. No, I was wondering if you could go over that day again for me. Maybe there's something you overlooked?
I don't think so, if you wish. I was here when Henry phoned. He asked me over at 6. I went there. Well, you know the rest, Sergeant.
You definitely didn't see anyone else at or near the house?
No, no one.
No. Well, thank you, Mr. Rhodes. I'll let you get on.
Thank you, Sergeant.
You said Mr. Fallon phoned you. What time was that, sir?
Around 3.
Thank you.
something troubling you?
No, no, there's nothing.
What did you want to talk to me about?
Nothing. Just an excuse to get you out.
Good. Tell me, did you see Dr. Marriott? What did he say?
He just wanted to talk about Henry. Tell us about his illness. I think he was upset at having missed the inquest.
He's a very serious young man. Very committed.
Have you known him long?
He was Henrietta's GP. They were great friends. He delivered Paul. When we came back to Oxford, it seemed natural for him to look after Henry.
Losing Henrietta and Paul must have been a terrible blow. And for Peter Rhodes, too.
His life was in ruins when we got back. He was an alcoholic. Henry paid for him to stay in a private clinic and helped him start his business. He saved his life, really.
Was Henry a partner in the business?
Well, I'm not sure what arrangement they had. I preferred to stay out of money matters and leave them to Henry. Why should that interest you?
Curiosity becomes something of a habit with policemen.
Rogers. Nurse Rogers. Started as a normal day. When I arrived, the phone wasn't working. Went to a call box and reported it. That the one?
That's it.
Won't you get into hot water for this? You're supposed to be working.
I'm a detective. Detectives think, mainly. Today, I choose to do my thinking lying down.
Susan, was it so terrible to laugh? What are you afraid of?
It's nothing, please.
Look, I'm not a fool. I know what Henry meant to you.
Haven't I hurt you enough? Can't you see what might happen?
Nothing can happen unless we both wanted to. You intend to leave. You told me that. I know how I'll feel when you go. If that's the price I've got to pay for seeing you now, then so be it.
I have no right to expect that of you.
And I have the right to make that choice.
What are you doing?
I'm letting some air in, Lewis. Some fresh air. It's a lovely day, don't you think?
Getting lovelier by the minute. He's been lying, sir. Rhodes. Mrs. Fallon told you her husband called just after 5 to test the line.
Yes.
And the nurse says the phone was out of order when she arrived in the morning. Rhodes is claiming that Fallon called him at 3 o'clock to ask him over. But how could he, sir? We know Fallon couldn't have left the house to make a call. And if there was no call, what was Rhodes doing there?
It's very beautiful, Peter.
When I saw it, I thought it might cheer you up a little.
It has done. Thank you. I'll put it here, shall I?
How have you been managing?
Oh, all right.
Susan, you know, if there's anything I can do, anything you need...
Can I get you something? Tea, coffee?
No, really. I only came to make sure you were all right.
I'll have a drink if you don't mind.
The police called round to see me.
What did they want?
They seemed to think there was some things to be cleared up about Henry. It was all very cryptic. They've not spoken to you, then?
No. You seem worried by it.
No, I'm not worried. I just found it odd.
I'm sure